record. Okay, so I welcome all to this again block diagram reduction transformation, or it can simply you can call it as block diagram reduction techniques or block diagram reduction rules. Okay, so there are almost 8 to 9 rules are there in block diagram transformation. Okay, and this is the summary of this whole block diagrams rule. So once we get to know how to solve the block diagram rules, then we can simply apply all the rules, okay, to solve the complex problems or the complex block diagram. Okay, so here let us see one by one how these block diagrams help us to get our complete original block diagram to its equivalent block diagram. Okay, so let us start with the first manipulation. Okay, so combining the blocks in cascade. This is just a kind of a revision to my previous video lecture. Okay, so after this we will solve a few problems on this. So the combining the block in cascade here is nothing but if the two blocks are in series. Okay, that is original block diagram, that is G1 and G2 are in series, whose input is X and output is Y, then its equivalent diagram, okay, is equal to G1 into G2. So whenever you find the two blocks are in series, you need to draw this diagram. Okay, so my Y is equal to X multiplied by G1 into G2. This is the blocks in series. Next, blocks in parallel, okay, or simply eliminating a forward loop. Okay, so there are two names are shown in this manipulation. One is blocks in parallel, or simply eliminating the forward loop, not backward. Okay, here the backward represents a kind of a feedback, but when it is forward, okay, it means it is again a kind of a reduction. It can be in series or it can be in parallel. Okay, so how this my original block diagram looks is there are two blocks which are in parallel and they are forward. You can see forward in the sense this G1 is moving towards the Y and G2 is always again is also moving towards Y. Okay, and if you look at this forward original block diagram, okay, here in this diagram the G2 has plus or minus sign, okay, and G1 has only plus. So during such scenario, what you should do is you should take both. Okay, so if the blocks are in parallel, they are added, okay, or they can be subtracted also. Okay, so that is why the reason the equivalent block diagram here shown is that is G1 plus or minus. Here you can see because I have plus or minus, so I will write plus or minus G2. If I have only plus, okay, so you write simply plus. If you have minus, you just simply write it as minus. That is G1 minus G2 or simply G1 plus G2. Okay, and its equivalent equation, always we end up with some equation that is called as transfer function equation. Okay, so Y is equal to G1 plus or minus G2 multiplied by X. Okay, so this is my second rule, that is blocks in parallel. Then third point is moving a pick off point, okay, behind the block. Sometimes the wordings are a bit different. Okay, when you refer more than one textbook or more than one reference, okay, so the naming are or the labels are a bit different. Okay, so sometimes instead of pick off point they call it as take off point. Okay, so here this take off point or this pick off point is given by or it is represented by a dot. Okay, so here the question here is you need to move this pick off point behind the block. Okay, behind means this is my block, behind means it is nothing but here. Okay, so if you are shifting your point before, sorry, after the block, okay, how to do this? This is my original block diagram which consists of u as an input, another u as a another uh, input. You can tell that is that can be applied to the next block diagram. Okay, and you have one block of G and one output Y. Okay, so whenever you shift this takeoff point, okay, after the block means this block of G, then you need to add one extra block represented by 1 divided by G. Okay, representing it by 1 divided by G always. Okay, so I repeat, if you want to shift this takeoff point after the block, okay, towards the left side, you should add one block, that is 1 divided by G. Just remember. Okay, then next point is moving a takeoff point before the block, or simply call it as ahead of the block. Ahead matlab before. Okay, so if you have a takeoff point and if you want to shift this takeoff point towards the right side, okay, there are some, we will face some kind of problems. Okay, when we come to the example, we face such kind of problem where it is necessary to shift my takeoff point towards the right side. So during such scenario, such situations, what you should do is you should simply shift this takeoff point before the block. Okay, but you should add one block called G block, that is normal G block. Don't do 1 divided by G, you simply go for 1 by, you simply just go for G. Okay, so but most of the time the rule says that when you go for solving the block diagram, okay, or a given system, try to always move your takeoff point, okay, towards the left direction or towards the output Y, or sometimes output C of S. Okay, so this is how we try to move our takeoff point before the block by adding a block called G. Okay, so let us go for the next rule, that is summation, or simply you can call it as summing point. So if you have a summing point, okay, which is before the block, okay, means it is just before the block, जो block से पहले है, and if you want to shift this summing point after the block, okay, so what you should do is after shifting this summation after the block, you should add one block of G. Okay, one block of G. This point number 5, okay, is equal to point number 4, just like your point number 4, sorry, point number 3. You just see point number 3 and point number 5. What is the difference between point number 3 and point number 5 is point number 3 says if you are shifting one point, that is takeoff point, after the block, make the block as 1 by G. If you are shifting the summing point after the block, see block both are after point after the block, summation after the block. But what is the difference? If it is point after the block, make it 1 by G. If it is summation after the block, you simply make it only G block. Okay, so point number 3 and the point number 5 are almost similar but not same. Okay, so therefore you should be very careful once you go for finding the solution. Okay, next let us go for point number 6. Okay, that is moving a summing point, okay, ahead of the block, or simply you can call it as before the block. Okay, words are a bit different. Now here there is a comparison with respect to point number 4 and point number 6. Okay, now what point number 4 says? Point number 4 says if you have a point, okay, after the block, and if you want to shift before the block, you add one G. Okay, but if you have a summation, okay, and if you want to shift this summation before the block, what you should do? You should write it as 1 divided by G. Okay, that is 1 divided by G. So what is the similarity here between point number 4 and 6? Point number 4 is one takeoff point. Point number 6 is one summing point. But these 2 points should be shifted before the block. So what is the small change? Here it is G, but here it is reverse of that. That is 1 divided by G. So always you should go by adding one extra block, that is 1 divided by G, and that will make your new equivalent block for your original block diagram. So these 6 rules are the major rules which will help us to solve the complete block diagram, so that we can reduce the whole complete block diagram and we can find the only one transfer function at the last of our problem. Okay, fine. So after studying all the rules, let us go for finding the solutions for some of the problems. Okay, so let us take the first problem. Okay, I have three blocks which are connected in series. Okay, so the input to the block 1 is theta 1 of s. Okay, and the output to block G1 is theta 2 of s, but theta 2 is input to G2. Similarly, theta 3 is input to G3, and theta 4 is nothing but your output. Okay, but if you look at this whole block, okay, the complete block, theta 1 is nothing but your input to the whole block, and theta 4 is nothing but it is output to the block. Okay, so therefore as rule number 1 says, okay, if the blocks are in series, you should go for multiplication. So that is why after applying the rule, they have written as only one diagram, that is theta 1 is input, theta 4 is output, but inside the block all are multiplied. Okay, they all are multiplied. So in this way you need to go for reducing your block diagram. Okay, similarly, if the blocks are in parallel, or if you have some kind of a feedback, okay, just look at this point number B, or example B is very important, because this point number B is nothing but it's a minor feedback, or simply you can call as small feedback. Okay, which is more essential in solving the block diagram. Okay, so let us look at this block diagram, how this can be solved. Okay, so if you look at this diagram here, the input R of S has a sign plus, and the input to the summation, that is second input to the summation, which is coming from H of S, has a sign minus. Okay, so this is a small feedback which has one input, one output, one block of G, one block of H, and one E of S, which is nothing but this. Okay, so if you find such, okay, if you find such loop while solving the block diagrams, okay, you need to have one standard form of derivation, which is also called as canonical form. Canonical means each element should be equal to 1, or the block diagram should have at least one element of each representation, like one G of S, one H of S, one R of S, and one C of S, one takeoff point and one summing point. So in such cases you need to go for one block which is nothing but C of S. First, how to write first G of S divided by 1, that is the standard value, plus, now you can see here it is plus, it is not minus. Okay, why this is plus here is because the input to the summation, which is coming from H of S, minus. If this was plus, then I would have written here as minus. Okay, so G of S, that is numerator should be G block, divided by 1 plus G block divided by H of block. H block gives you the transfer function that is represented by one block. Okay, so let us go for the third problem, or the third example. Okay, now let us extend our block to some additional blocks. Okay, okay, now problem number C. Okay, so what problem we have? One is R of S. Okay, I have G of S, sorry, G1 of S here. There is one summation. Okay, G2 of S, H of S, okay, and some feedback. There is no forward loop. We don't have any forward loop. Forward loop in the sense there should be any forward path. Okay, so we have only one loop. So how to solve this problem is try to identify the elements. So I will write it as my first summation. Okay, let us go for here second summation. Okay, this is second summation. Okay, this is one feedback. I will write it as 1f, that is feedback, but this feedback is unity. Unity is nothing but it is equal to 1. Why this is equal to 1? Because we don't have H block. Simply one output, that is C of S, is connected to summation, which is unity, which is equal to 1. So we don't have any feedback. Okay. Then we have a second feedback, that is 2F. What is 2F? It is a minor loop, or simply you can call minor feedback. Again, it is from C of S output applied to the second summation. Okay. One block of G. Okay. And this is my second block of G. Okay. So let us try to solve this simple problem. Okay. How to solve the simple problem here is, always go for applying the rules, that is all the 6 rules. Go for applying the first rule. What is the first rule? If the blocks are in series. Do we have the blocks in series? Yes, I have a block in series, but the problem here is I have something extra in between the 2 blocks of G, that is nothing but your summation. So therefore I cannot go for applying the first rule. So to apply the first rule, I should remove this summation. Okay. So how to remove the summation? By checking the other rules. Check for any blocks in parallel. Now G2 and H, they look like parallel connection, but they are not parallel to each other. The reason because they are not in parallel is the G block is forward towards C of S, but there is a feedback from output to this summation. So that is the reason this cannot be taken as parallel connection. So therefore this act as minor loop. Okay. So what the minor loop consists of? It is consist of one block of G, one block of H, one summation, and one takeoff point. So try to solve this G block. Okay. So if you solve this G block, this summation automatically vanishes. Okay. So now apply this G block, that is nothing but solve this. Or how to solve? That is G block. Okay. That is G2 of S divided by 1 plus, you can see there is a minus symbol here. So it becomes plus. So 1 plus the G block multiplied by H block. Now this summation gets solved or simplified. Now you can tell this G1 block is in series with this complete transfer function. So apply the rule. Rule says if the 2 blocks are in series such that there is nothing between the 2 blocks, neither a takeoff point nor a summation point nor any kind of feedback, therefore simply these 2 blocks are nothing but series connection. And if these 2 blocks are in series, you just simply multiply. So multiplication is nothing but G1 of S multiplied by G2 of S, okay, whole divided by 1 plus G2 of S multiplied by H of S. So I will just write that equation here. Okay, if it's not written, so that is G1 of S, okay, multiplied by the whole block. Whole block means this G1 will be multiplied in the numerator. So G1 of S multiplied by G2 of S, okay, divided by, okay, divided by the denominator. So the denominator is 1 plus, it remains as it is, that is G2 of S multiplied by H of S. Okay, so that is multiplied by H of S. This is the transfer function for after multiplying the 2 blocks. After multiplying the 2 blocks. Okay, so the 2 blocks are multiplied. So after multiplication of the 2 blocks, okay, so what else remains? That is one summation, okay, then C of S, then one feedback. So that becomes your small minor loop. Okay, so this is just similar to like this. This is one block, this is one summation, okay, this is added here, this is your summation block. Okay, so here from output to input, they will just simply connect like this. Okay, so you can just see here, okay, the direction of arrow is toward the summation, and this is plus here, and this is minus here. Okay, and the direction of feedback is towards the summation. Okay, so here simply you write here as rs, that is r of s, and here you write it as cs or simply c of s. Now this diagram looks like one minor loop or one feedback loop, okay, which consists of one summation, okay, one takeoff point, one block of g, but one block of h, but that h is equal to 1. Now you apply the feedback. Whenever you find such minimum points, try to solve your transfer function. How to solve? That is g block, which is my g block, the whole block is my g block. Okay, so whole block is nothing but g block. So first you write the g block, okay, divided by 1 plus g block multiplied by what? H block, but h we don't have, so therefore I will try to solve this. How to solve is, first is g block. Okay, so what is g block? That is g1, okay, g1 of s multiplied by g2 of s. Okay, this is my g, still it is incomplete, so divided by, okay, so divided by, okay, so what value I have? So this is g block. Okay, I'm writing it for g block, so it is 1 plus what is g block says, that is g2 of s multiplied by h of s. This is my g block. So g block, okay, divided by okay 1 plus g block, right? So here 1, I will write 1. What is the arrow says? It is minus, so it becomes plus. So 1 plus g block, right? So already I have written the g block above. So g block divided by 1 plus g block. G block means repeat the whole numerator term, that is g1 of s multiplied by g2 of s, okay, g2 of s divided by, okay, this small divided by, okay, what is divided by? Divided by here, divided by denominator, right? This is my g block. This act as whole g block. I will just show you how this block, sorry, this block is equal to g block. This is equal to my whole g block. Okay, so here this is my g block. Okay, so how am, why, for what diagram we are writing is this. Okay, I'm trying to solve this diagram which consists of a minor loop. So first g block I have written, so 1 plus again g block, right? So I'm writing the equation, that is nothing but I'm repeating the same numerator here. Okay, so g of s into g2 of s whole divided by, okay, whole divided by 1 plus, okay, g2 of s multiplied by h of s. Okay, so this is my 1 g block multiplied by into 1. Why into 1? Because the feedback, here is equal to 1, is equal to 1. So that is why it is unity. That is why I write it as simply equal to 1. Okay, so what next step, what you should do is you just simplify this denominator. So if I simplify the denominator, what answer we get? Okay, so after simplifying, okay, so you will get here, I will write, let it be here only, I will write on the other side how to simplify the denominator side. Okay, so this becomes 1 plus, okay, 1 plus g2 of s, okay, multiplied by h of s, okay, plus denominator, right? This value. So what is this value? Just a second, I will write here. So look at here, 1 plus, okay, g2 of s multiplied by h of s plus, continue the equation, okay, so that is g1 of s multiplied by g2 of s multiplied by g2 of s whole divided by, okay, so here it is, at 1 plus, sorry, so this is g2 of s multiplied by, this is my h of s plus g1 of s multiplied by g2 of s, okay, divided by, okay, simply divided by what? The denominator's denominator. So divided by, it is 1 plus g2 of s multiplied by h of s, okay, multiplied by h of s. It is like this, okay. Then what happens next? This denominator, okay, this denominator get cancels with the numerator's denominator. This denominator, I repeat, just see here how this get cancels, okay. So this denominator, okay, get cancels with the this value, okay. I've solved the numerator. Here you can see I've solved this equation. I've solved this equation here, okay. So that this denominator value will get cancels with the numerator's denominator value. So what remains? What remains is nothing but your this block of g, okay, that is g1 of s multiplied by g2 of s. It got cancels, and what remains? This value. This value remains, and these values are written where they are written. They are written here. You can simply see in this particular diagram here, that is this value. So what they have written? They have written as g1 of s into g2 of s, right? That is this block, okay, divided by 1 plus g2 of s into h of s, right, plus g1 of s multiplied by g2 of s. They have written in one complete block diagram. So how you got this? After solving this diagram, so we have applied a minor loop, we got this, that is g of s divided by 1 plus g block into 1. Why it is 1? Because the feedback is 1, okay. Then I have solved for the denominator value, so I got this. After simplification, the denominator value is cancelled with the numerator's denominator value because they are in similar, so I just cancelled them, okay. Then afterwards I have written the actual value, so this got cancelled, okay. So they got cancelled, so only which are the terms which are remaining, you should rearrange and write it properly, then you will get this solution for this problem. So in this way you should apply the rules for solving the block diagram reduction, okay. Even in exam, if they ask, try to apply step by step so that you solve it properly, okay. So with this problem, okay, this problem I uh, I just conclude my today's class, okay. Thank you.